The call, by Mr. Harris and his supporters, to abandon faith, is misguided, and founded on a premise both ignorant and unwise. The premise, that the material is synonymous with the real, and that only mathematical reasoning is equipped to account for reality, is manifestly ignorant, because it ignores spiritual realities, which are among the most important realities to human beings. Spiritual realities include, among others, freedom, faith, hope, love, beauty, sublimity, justice, mercy, meaning, purpose, perfection, and the perfection of these and all other realities, God. The branches of science that Mr. Harris and his ilk confuse for the whole of science, that is, physics, chemistry, etc., are just those parts of knowledge that treat of material nature, which can be described and predicted mathematically. However, they do not constitute the entirety of knowledge, and they simply cannot account for the spiritual realities that are so fundamental to the human experience in general, and to our own personal experiences in particular. Just as mathematical reasoning is the method and the means by which we account for material realities, faith and revelation, called by Plato right opinion, are the methods and the means by which we approach and grapple with the spiritual realities that form such a large part of our experience. The existential fact, which Mr. Harris and his fellow smug rebels ignore, to the detriment of their credibility, is that God is with us. He dwells in the heart of man, at the head of the parade of ideas, like freedom and justice, by which our life is inspired and organized. The rebels would have to say, were they compelled to confront with rigor that which they so ignore, that freedom is an illusion, that justice is a myth, that beauty and sublimity are delusions, that perfection is a null set, that love and hope and mercy are for suckers. There is and can be, for Harris and his fellow lost souls, no meaning in this world, no purpose in life. There is only the spectacle of matter and energy, moving and reacting in their mindless courses of cause and effect, and whatever hedonistic entertainment can be gleaned from the same, but to no higher purpose. Life, for benighted individuals like Harris, is nothing but eat and be eaten, screw and be screwed, a series of conditions and reflexes, with an illusion of consciousness, played out on what screen one wonders, a brief mirage wedged between two infinities of nothingness. Everything that really matters to human beings, apart from the values they share with the animals and plants, like the need for fuel and the aversion to pain, the things, that is, that make us human, for example, love and freedom and conscience, do not fit into Mr. Harris's system, cannot be addressed by what he calls science, and apparently do not matter to him. If that is what he says, he is either being dishonest, or he is just unwise. Mr. Harris's rejection of faith, the other half of knowledge, the other arm by which we grasp reality, that spiritual side of reality, that means so much to us human beings, is indeed unwise. By rejecting faith he cuts himself off from what really matters to persons. He amputates something that is much an appendage and a tool of mankind as his reason. He really commits the same error, in reverse, as those fundamentalists who say that faith can reject reason and deal with material nature on its own terms, without recourse to mathematics and empirical observation. Just as the fundamentalists are wrong about matter, and cut themselves off from the means of grasping it, so is Mr. Harris wrong. He has overstepped the bounds of material reasoning when he argues the non-existence of God, the great ideas, and other spiritual realities that exist, and prove their existence in their importance to our lives and culture. As Immanuel Kant, a brilliant philosopher, and a much more wise and intelligent man than Mr. Harris and the herd of self-styled free-thinkers with whom his dribble resonates, said in his groundbreaking work, Critique of Pure Reason, and I paraphrase, critical philosophy must, by means of a Copernican-style revolution, that puts mind at the center as the undisputed reality of existence, demonstrate the limits of reason, in order to make room for faith. Reason simply cannot prove or disprove the spiritual realities such as God. However, practical philosophy and good judgment point to the efficacy of embracing those spiritual realities, God, and freedom in particular, as the basis of morality, which in turn is the basis of human society. No one has improved upon this formulation, or offered a better, or indeed any other, means for lifting human civilization above the immorality and nihilism implicit in the dark, Darwinian, dog-eat-dog mire of mud and blood that constitutes the sum total of the world picture offered by what Mr. Harris calls the whole of science. Thus, Mr. Harris is unwise to think that he can uplift humans, prompt clear thinking, and promote peace and progress by tying behind our backs the other arm of our mind, the spiritual one, that can lift us out of the mire of mere matter in which the arm of reason is so adept at swimming. Contrary to Mr. Harris's unsupported assumption, reason does not, and cannot, refute faith. Reason needs faith. Reason and faith together make us whole. Mathematics and revelation together give us insight into our composite reality, composed of both matter and spirit. Reality is bigger than Mr. Harris imagines, and we should thank God for that.